Hey guys, so today we're going to be continuing on with our chapter about surface area and volume. This lesson is all about the sphere. So we're going to be going over both surface area and volume of spheres as well as hemispheres. Okay, so this is lesson 1.6, sphere surface area and volume. So the surface area and volume stuff for a sphere is like super straightforward. There's just a formula for both of those. So for a sphere surface area, you just use 4 pi r squared. For a sphere's volume, it's 4/3 times pi r cubed. The only slightly tricky part of this comes when dealing with hemispheres, which are half of circles. You'll notice that there is no formula on your formula sheet for hemispheres. If you need to find the volume of a hemisphere, you just find the volume of the entire sphere and then divide it by 2 to get the hemisphere. When you are finding the surface area of a hemisphere, once again, just find the surface area of a whole sphere and then divide it in half to get the outside part of the hemisphere's surface area. But in order to get the base, like the circular part at the bottom, you do also need to add the area of that circular face. So we're going to go through 2 examples, one where we're finding the surface area of a hemisphere, another where we're given the volume of a sphere and have to work backwards to find its radius. So let's get into both of those. So for this first example, this is my best attempt at a drawing of a hemisphere. It says find the surface area of the hemisphere. Its diameter is 10 centimeters. So we're going to go to the sphere's surface area formula, which is that the surface area is 4 pi r squared. Since the diameter is 10, that means the radius is 5. So 4 times pi times 5 squared, which is 25. So pi times 4 times 25 is 314.159. Now, of course, because that is the surface area of an entire sphere, I do need to divide that by 2 in order to get the hemisphere portion. So 314.159 divided by 2 is 157.1-ish centimeters squared. Now that includes the entire outside surface of the hemisphere, so this part around the outside, but it doesn't include the base, the circular base where we cut the hemisphere away from the entire circle, where we cut the 2 hemispheres apart essentially. So we've just found this, now we need to find the base. The base is just a circle, so we're going to use our circle area formula, which is just pi r squared. Our radius is still 5, so just 5 times, or sorry, pi times 25, which is 78.54-ish centimeters squared. And so the last step is just going to be to add those 2 together. So 157.1 plus 78.54 gives us approximately 235.64 centimeters squared as our final answer. Okay, for the second example, it says find the radius of a sphere with a volume of 1400 centimeters cubed. So this time we're going to go down to our volume formula for our sphere. So volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. And now we're going to plug in our volume of 1400. Oops, cubed. And now we're just slowly going to start isolating our R value. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply 4/3 times pi. So 4 divided by 3 in brackets times pi. So I'm going to set it up like this. And that is 4.189-ish. And then to move that away from the R cubed, I am of course just going to divide. That leaves me with my R cubed on the one side, and 1400 divided by 4.189 is 334.21 approximately. And then in order to get rid of this cubed sign, I need to use the opposite of that, which is a cubed root. So I will do a cubed root in order to get the R by itself. And of course, what I do to one side, I must also do to the other. So I'm going to take the cubed root of 334.21. If you're not sure how to do a cubed root on your calculator, it is slightly different for different types of calculators. If you have a calculator like mine, a Texas Instrument, what you're going to do is you're going to put in a 3 for the fact that it's a cubed root. Then you're going to do the second button and this little to the power of button. If you can see above that, if it'll focus, above this button is a little x root. So we'll hit that. This sign comes up here, and then we just put in whatever we're cubed rooting. So in this case, the 334.21. So it should look like that. And then I'll hit equals. And our answer is 6.94-ish centimeters. And that would be our final answer. Okay, so when it comes to spheres and hemispheres, it's really straightforward. You're just going to be using the formulas there. The only thing to remember is not to forget when you're dealing with hemispheres to divide by 2, and if it's a surface area, to also add that area of the circular base. I would recommend, just because people forget to divide by 2 a lot, that as soon as you write out the formula for, or as soon as you know that you're going to be dividing by 2 because you're dealing with a hemisphere instead of a sphere, right away just write divide by 2 so that you don't forget to do it. Okay, let me know if you have any other questions about this stuff.